I'm backing up my truck, I'm gonna hook it up, loading up my boat with all my gear. I've been working hard all week, trying to make ends meet, spending time wishing I was fishing. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing. Gather up your gear and come along. Well, Terry Wickstrom wants to take you fishing.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Join Karen Kullhem, Greg Claudio, and me as we take you to some of our favorite fishing spots from Colorado to Minnesota, the Arctic Circle to Central America and beyond. As we revisit episodes of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures Television on the best of fishing with Terry Wickstrom.
Hey, you folks out there are really lucky today. You're not going to have to see me fishing. Actually, what we're going to do, you probably recognize this guy. He's been on the show a few times. Greg Shannon, great to be with you again.
Good seeing you, Terry.
And this lady, if you followed Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures over the years, you've seen her shining face and big smile catching some awfully big fish. And this is Karen Kullhem, the producer of Mountain States Fishing and Angling Adventures. Now, Karen, you're an accomplished angler. You've fished salmon in Alaska and big pike in Canada and walleyes and bass in Mexico, but you really never did a lot of fly fishing.
Fly fishing's new to me.
Yeah, we got you started a little bit once a while ago, and our schedules got so hectic you never really got back to it.
You just never let me fish.
So we're going to get her. She really wants to get back into fly fishing. So what Greg's, volunteered to do, because if I try to teach her, she'll kill me. So what Greg's volunteered to do is start getting her back into fly fishing, and we're out here at Boxwood Gulch, which is just outside of Denver. And tremendous facility.
Absolutely.
And we want to, here's what we'll kind of do today. I'm going to step aside and Greg's going to take Karen and teach her some basics of fly fishing, but we also want to show you, not only while she's learning, you got some new Wright McGill equipment.
You bet.
New Fly Girl stuff. We really want to show you that great stuff.
Got the fly rod and the waders,
and
they're made for women.
That's right, and we're going to talk about that some more. But we also want to show you that if you're really new to fly fishing, or maybe you're a novice, you're not experienced, and you think you can't go out and catch a lot of fish and have a good time, if you're willing to spend some time with a guide and come to a place like Boxwood Gulch, where you've got a controlled situation, even a beginner can just have a great time fly fishing while they're learning, can't they?
Right. Now these fish are smart, but they're attainable.
That's exactly right, and it's a controlled situation, so it's really great. Tell you what, I'm going to step aside, let you two get out in the water. I'll see you at the end of the day and see how you did, and we'll let you join them out, and let's go get you guys did some fly fishing going.
Sounds great.
Now get out of here. We're going to go fishing. Let's go. Karen, first thing I'd like to do is to teach you some of the basics of casting. For those of you that haven't done this, like I said earlier, sometimes people don't do the sport because they get intimidated by the casting process, and it's not anything hard. What we'll do is we'll go through several basic casts, so you'll be able to cast a dry fly or nymphs. And the difference between those two, the dry fly obviously is going to be floating on top of the water. The nymphs are going to be floating. Well, they're not going to be floating. Actually, they're going to be going along the bottom of the river.
Swimming, basically.
Right, where the fish are going to be feeding probably
hopefully.
80% of the time. So the first one I'd like to show you, and this works to help you, one, to get your fly line out to start your casting. This is called the roll cast, and a lot of times you'll use this most of the time because if, like, say we've got trees on the side of the bank or something, we don't want to have that fly line catching in the tree and popping those flies off. It gets a little expensive. So the first cast that we're going to do is called a roll cast. And you get a little bit of line out there, and what you do, you go ahead and bring the rod up slowly to a 45-degree angle, take your thumb on top of the grip, and just push like that. Notice how that line just lays out there?
Mm-hmm.
So once you get that roll cast going and you practice that, just push it right out there. Then that starts your cast. Once the line is straight, you can go ahead and pick it up and keep the line. Gosh. You want to keep it parallel to the water. So what we're trying to do is to keep that rod tip going from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Notice it's not a big motion like this. A lot of people that...
Use the whole arm.
Right, they're used to spin fishing.
Casting.
And this is the biggest difference between spin fishing and fly fishing, is that in spin fishing it's the weight of the lure that carries the line out. It's the weight of the fly line that carries the fly out. You know, it's not one of these things where you need an expensive rod, you know, and all the most expensive stuff. What I tell people is get a mid-range rod. You've got a beautiful rod here. This is the
new line from Wright McGill.
The Wright and McGill.
Fly Girls, made for women.
And I noticed it's got a smaller grip.
Yeah, they've made it so it fits the women's hand better, and of course they make it a pretty purple color.
Yes, I wish I had a purple one too.
But we'll see how well it works. But I've heard from other people that, you know, your hand gets tired from the grip all day long, and when this is supposed to help, where you're not overextending and it's a more normal feel for
so you don't get the fatigue.
The fatigue in it. But in reality, if you can get a few things as far as the casting, that's something you can always be practicing.
Right. You can come out here like we're doing here,
right here
on
in
the
an open
lawn, right by the river. I mean,
or even go down to the city park
Sure,
or something where it's a nice open area where you don't snag anything.
Right. All right, Karen, today we've got some high water conditions, and that kind of has something to do with what we've tied on today.
Okay.
Today what we're going to be doing is nymph fishing to start off with. The reason we're going to be doing that is with the high water, it's washing a lot more bugs downstream. The fish are more tuned into that kind of a strike as opposed to
something floating on the surface.
Right.
Okay.
They've got a lot of food coming by. What I've tied on yours in honor of the fly girl is a pink San Juan worm. And there's a lot of aquatic worms that are being washed downstream. Fish just love them. You've also got a flashback pheasant tail on there, so that'll give you two different choices. Karen, what I'd like to talk about now is a couple things. Notice we're kneeling down.
We crawled
now.
into the river.
The reason we're doing that, and this is a big mistake that a lot of fishermen make, is they just go tromping down the stream.
And just hop in and.
Right, and these fish. You've got to remember that those fish can see ahead of them, they can see to the sides of them, and they can see up above them. So, but they can't see back
behind.
Right, behind them. So I always like to fish from downstream to upstream. And the reason I do that is because these fish, and this is a real good example of it right here, these fish will always face into the current. One of the things I'd like to discuss is how to read the water and trying to figure out where those fish are going to be. If you notice this white line right over here, anytime you see a foam line, the bubbles on top of the water, that means that it's bringing oxygen and it's bringing food to those fish. So they'll sit right in there. They'll sit in the slack water right off the fast water, waiting for something to come by, because they don't want to burn up their energy.
Right, they don't want to exert themselves, so the easier food, the better it is for them.
Right, and so they'll wait for something to come by, they'll jet in, grab it, and come on back out and get in their comfortable area again. So what you're trying to do is to find any kind of a current break for these fish to hide out of that current. So here's a good example of a seam right here that we've already gone over. If you'll notice down there, see where that point is jutting out a little bit? That blocks the current, so it'll cause some slack water behind that little point that juts out there.
So pretty much anything, even like a branch that has fallen down into it or anything, can actually be that break of
and
the
it's,
water.
and it's like, you know, I hate to say it, but it's like bass fishing. They're going to go next to cover or where they feel safe.
Right, secure.
Now, let's get the rods set up and start catching some fish.
Okay, they're waiting for us.
They are. Just roll it on out
Roll
there.
out. Okay.
Okay. All right, now bring it up.
And put it out.
Lift. Oh, yeah. There you go.
There we go. Okay, I didn't even
Now
set
you didn't do the bass set. That's great.
There is
So let's
hope
go on
for
down
me.
to the river a little bit.
And just keep the tension on the
Just
line,
keep
right?
the rod tip straight up. Be careful going down there.
I'm gonna go down just a little bit more here.
All right. This is good here. But if you'll stand up there and just, as you reel in, you don't want to bring it all the way up, but you just want to lift that rod tip and try to get him to come right to the net.
Okay.
And I'll get down low.
And if he doesn't want to come, you just let him decide.
Right. The thing that you don't want to do is just clamp down on it, because if
he
they want
takes
to
a
run,
run, you gotta let 'em.
run. Right.
Boy, they did take their Wheaties this morning.
Yeah. That's pretty color. And just lift straight and just once he gets his head to the top, just bring him right on over. Ah, look at here. Brook trout.
Brooke?
Yeah, it's pretty. And he took that little pheasant tail.
Doesn't tell him that was the one that was on the bottom, right?
Right. Flashback pheasant tail. Well, I'm going to let you do this because all my clients have to smell like fish before they leave.
All right. Hands wet.
Right. Look at the black and the white stripes on his fins. And
then
the
he's
little
starting
the
to-
spots on the side. Let me show that to the camera. Kind of tilt it that way. Oh, that's pretty.
Okay.
Now, aim him into the current, and when he's ready, he'll swim out.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Yes!
No harm, no foul. Your first fish.
Yes!
Your
That
first
wasn't so tough.
fly fish.
And actually on my rod, and I actually
On
did
your
it all by
rod?
myself.
I love seeing clients get their first fish. How was that?
That was awesome.
Did you like that?
That was awesome. Okay,
Well,
we
I
can
tell
do
you
that
what,
again.
We have the distinguished owner of Boxwood Gulch here, checking out the action.
I know, and he had to keep
Dan
me watching.
Moritz. Dan, why don't you come on down?
He had to see me do that first fish.
Yes.
Nothing like pressure.
Nicely
was awesome.
done.
2 casts.
I know. It was making it too rough here.
Dan, this is such an awesome place, and I love bringing people out here to be able to see this. You've done a great job with this place. You know, it's one of the premier places in the country, I think.
Well, thanks.
I really do. Well, we're gonna go try to catch a couple more dozen.
All right.
If that's okay.
Sure. You need some exercise.
Yes.
There we go.
I like to come out here and work them out for
There you go. Yeah, they definitely have their Wheaties.
Yes. They are strong fish.
They are.
And when we get into one of the big ones, we'll
Hang on?
Yes, we'll just hang on and hope we
Go
win.
for the ride.
You bet. Like I said, you know, most people go all their lives fishing for trout and never see a trout like this, much less catch trout like this. So this is a really exceptional place
This
to
is
come.
just totally awesome.
Let's do it again.
All righty.
All right.
Okay, good luck.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. There he is. Lift. There you go. You always want to strip the line in and then get them on the reel. That was a chunky one. Now what I'm going to have you do is don't let him get in that tube. We're going to go down here on these rocks. Oh, it's a brook trout. That's a pretty brook trout.
He's cooperating.
All right.
Oh, pretty brook.
Oh, look at the colors. That's what I love about brookies in the fall.
Got a brook?
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at the colors.
Oh my goodness.
See the black and white on the fins? Little pink spots on them.
Starting to spawn in.
Yeah, and look at the black on his mouth.
They are such beautiful fish.
They really are. And you know, brook trout are normally known as small fish. And these are some pretty decent sized brook trout that we've got today.
I was gonna say, because I mean, most of the time when you think of brook trout, they're like the little 6 or 8 inch ones, right?
Right.
He's a nice sized fish.
I tell you what, let's get him in the water.
Back
but
in
they are
and-
just so pretty. So pretty. And he took, what did he take?
Did he take my pink one?
Yes, he did.
My pretty pink one. There he goes.
The fly girl and the pink sandworm worm.
With my purple rod and my
That's
pink.
right. You can't go wrong with that. At all.
Just don't
Good
tell the
job.
fish.
No.
Thanks,
Good job.
Greg.
You betcha.
You've really taught me a lot today. It's been great. Like I said, you know, a lot of it is, you know, I hate being intimidated. And being able to come out here, just kick back, relax. You're a very easy guy to be with, and it made me feel comfortable enough to the point where it's been fun.
Let it just drift on through, because that might get you in there. So we got another indicator eater down there.
Yep. So Greg, when it passes past you, how far do you usually let it go downstream? I mean, because like you said, a lot of times they'll catch it on that back drift too,
Because
right?
what happens at the end of the drift, it starts to swing upward like that, and they think it's an emerging bug. And a lot of times that action is enough to trigger them. So you want to keep it manageable. The thing is, instead of putting more line out there, you want to just cover an area really, really well, and then move a couple of feet, and then you're covering a whole new area. You just want to concentrate on that drift and having it go the exact same pace as that current.
Ooh.
He went and looked at it really strong. I think it bounced off his eyeball. Lift. Oh, he took the strike indicator.
And then he missed it, and then went down and took the other one. Let it dummy.
All right, don't clamp down on it. Don't clamp down on it. Get it on the reel.
There he
Follow
goes.
him.
That one's really silver. He's not as
This is a
dark as...
cutthroat, I think. That's a big fish. Okay.
Come back this way.
Keep that rod tip. Look at that fish. Now this might be a brown, a big male brown. I saw a big hook jaw on him.
So in other words, just keep the tension on him and then just let him decide where he goes if you have to.
Let the tip of that rod do the work. And then once you get him,
Okay,
comes up and turn
trying to
the
pull
tip
him.
back over this way. Oh, that's a huge fish, Karen.
He saw you.
That's okay. I'm being real still. God, he won't fit in the net. That is a huge fish.
All right.
Folks, you're not going to believe this fish.
Oh my gosh.
You need a camera on this.
Oh, he is beautiful.
Look at the jaw on him. That is a huge, huge, huge fish.
Oh my
You
gosh.
can't wrap your hand around this, folks. If you'll hang on to the, you got him? Or do
No,
want me
you
to?
probably...
All right.
I can't. Okay, bud, we'll let you go.
You try to,
He's talking now.
you try to get their tail, but you can't even put, he's so fat that he just tapers down to nothing. Look at that
Look
fish,
at this fish.
folks.
Isn't that awesome?
That is huge. Look at the jaw on him.
This is the
big
kind
male.
of fish that you can catch here.
Oh, what an experience. What an
Oh.
experience that is.
God, he's beautiful.
Is that a great fish?
That's a great fish.
You didn't even have to fly to Alaska for it.
Oh, right here in the
Wow.
backyard.
All right, Karen, you had enough, you know. It's time to come out of the water. See what you started? Now we can't get her to quit
I'm
fishing.
I told you, I can't
up
be
here.
responsible
At the end of the day.
converting them.
Time to say goodbye to the folks. So did you have a good time?
Do I have to go home?
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
This is awesome.
It was. So how did it go? Did you learn a lot about fly fishing today?
I learned a lot, and I got into some nice fish.
Very nice fish.
Very
So
nice
was
fish.
Greg a good guide?
Greg was great.
Greg,
That's
Thank you
one
very
thing.
much.
Thanks for giving
You
your time for
betcha.
this, Greg. Really
Oh, you
appreciate it.
betcha.
What do you think of Boxwood Gulch?
Dan, you have an awesome place.
Thank you.
Totally awesome.
Welcome in.
Okay.
No, she
Tomorrow
needs to
about
work.
what
She has to
time?
be in the studio. Hey, Dan, thanks for the use of your facility.
you.
You bet.
Hope you can come back.
Well, we hope so too. And folks, I hope you enjoyed this and you learned and saw what can happen. You don't have to be an expert fly fishing angler in order to enjoy a place like Boxwood Gulch. You know, get a hold of Greg, get a hold of Dan, and get out and learn fly fishing. It's not that difficult, is it?
It's not difficult at all. You don't have to have those huge long casts that you think everybody has to have.
You know what? Learn to fly fish, add it to your repertoire, and join us next week on Mountain States Fishing.
You know, Karen, we have been so fortunate to be out here, and we've got a beautiful area like this.